Welcome to Be Seen Season 2. Hosted by yours truly, Divina Duven.
Hola mis amores, this is your host, Divina, and we're back with another episode of To Be Seen Season 2. Today's guest is a powerhouse entertainer whose creativity and vision extend far beyond the stage. Known for strong concepts, dynamic performances, and self-made looks that bring every character fully to life. He has become one of the most exciting and thoughtful artists in the Indianapolis drag scene. Beyond performing, he has been involved in theater and storytelling through the Indy Drag Theatre, as well as helping push drag performance into new spaces. He is also a member of Indy's brand new boy band, Boyz II Men, and co-host of Resist, a drag show and community market created to connect people with local resources, organizations, and incredible networks within our city. Please welcome to the To Be Seen stage, Rodick.
Oh my God, that was so sweet. Thank you.
Of course. We have to give you your flowers. Thank you so much for being here and
Yeah.
welcome to be Seen.
I'm really excited to be here. I love talking to you, and this show has been so fabulous. So I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah. Our main goal is to highlight incredible local entertainers in our area. So we were so excited to be able to talk to you. To get us started, I wanted to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself to your audience and ask you, how would you describe yourself as a performer and artist?
So yeah, my name is Rodick. I chose that name because of Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Roderick Heffley. He's kind of like the OG, the inspiration, like dumbass older brother. I'm very inspired by like early 2000s pop punk. And so I like to incorporate a lot of those aesthetics into my looks. But I feel like I either do 2000s pop punk or like 70s. Not really any in between. But both of those eras kind of speak to me and I really like their aesthetics. So it's been really fun playing with that and incorporating that into like my drag persona, and finding ways to bring in those eras into the attitude that I bring to performances. So, yeah, I've started performing around 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago. And it's been kind of a whirlwind. I didn't know how much it would take off. Like when I first started, I was just kind of doing it for fun. And I'm still really trying to connect with just doing it for fun. That's something that I think is really, really important to me. So I've been finding my space in the drag community and finding that place to find all my friends in my community.
Amazing. And you are doing incredible at doing so. I wanted to ask you, what was the first thing that pushed you to performing?
I think, honestly, one of my friends played a song for me, and I thought it was just the most wild, like, teenage dirtbag older brother song, and connected that to Roderick Heffley. And I was like, I'm just going to go to an open stage and do this. I think I had gone to the open stage one time before, and I didn't know anybody. I just went there with like one of my friends. And then after that, I was like, I should perform. I did theater when I was a kid, and I hadn't really engaged with it in a while. So it was something to just encouraged me to like get out there, meet new people, find friends. And so I did that first one, and then I just kept going to open stages, and the people that I met and all the friends that I made are definitely what kept bringing me back after that initial performance.
From that initial performance, did you always had like the same character of Rodick over time, or?
I actually did not think that I was going to keep the Rodick name past that first performance. I had really only chose it because I was doing like a Roderick Heffley look. And then I talked to Oliver Closeoff at the second open stage that I went to. And he was like, I kind of remember you. What's your name again? I was like, well, I went by Rodick last time, but I'm thinking of like changing it to something that's more my name. And he was like, stick with the same thing. You're going to want the same name the whole time. And so I took the Heffley away, and I just kept Rodick because I wanted it to feel more like me and a character that I could build on rather than I'm just doing cosplay. So
I definitely think that it makes so much sense for you, and now you explaining kind of where everything came from. Now all of the pieces come together. I really love the character you have built and all of your creativity with all of your performances. For all of those of you watching at home, Rodick and I kind of did the same competition, which was an open stage competition called Monster House, back last year, and that's kind of how we met. And then you made it to the finale of season 2 that I was hosting, and you did absolutely incredible.
That was a lot of fun.
It was really fun.
It was really nice to get to know you. I felt like through that experience, I got to know people a lot better because it wasn't just the one open stage and then we don't come back. It was like you won the open stage and then you competed for the finale. And then the finale had like 3 categories. I mean, you do pageants. And so that was kind of the first time that I had been given like a list of categories or criteria that I had to meet for like a final package. And I think that through that process, getting to know you and the other 2 folks who were doing it with us was really cool because it was like a bigger project that we were all working on rather than just coming to an open stage and doing something that we had practiced in our bedrooms.
It was a really fun experience, and everybody brought like their 110% with like looks and performances. It was like really, really cool. Going kind of around that realm of crafting a look and crafting maybe like a specific character for that performance. How does that all usually happen for you?
A lot of times I have a lot of songs that I really, really like. And I kind of find the character through those songs. And a lot of songs that I like are heavier or rock or punk based. So a lot of my aesthetics and performances are just kind of like rage or something gory, something like guttural. I really like being able to express that through my performances. So at the Monsters finale, I made like intestines that I pulled out of my shirt.
So cool.
It was really fun. It was like pantyhose that I dipped in fake blood. But getting to just like get my hands dirty, making something that looks really gross, but I mean, this is why I love horror movies. I like a lot of older horror movies because I feel like you can see the practical effects in them, but it's not too much where you're like really, really grossed out. So you can see all the work that went into it. And so I kind of want to bring that same energy or inspiration into my drag as well.
That's amazing. What has been your favorite part about performing in the Indianapolis scene?
It's definitely been more of the group projects that I've done. And even though the Monster finale was individual, showcase, I felt like it was still kind of a group project. And so that's why I've loved doing the boy band. It's been a treat just to like hang out, I don't know, once a week for the past few weeks, months or whatever. And just like play dress up with my friends. I feel like there were a few points where I was really like comparing myself against others or felt very individual in the way that I was going about my drag. And so being able to like hang out with my friends and do something where it's like we all have this common goal has been probably my favorite part.
Yeah. I would love to know more about this brand new boy band that we have in Indy, which before I give you the opportunity to talk about it, I wanted to say that I am completely obsessed. And I love it so much because I know all of you can relate, all of the members are of the band. I think we are all around kind of the same age. And we came up on, I feel like we used to have more boy bands and like more boy band culture in the past, which we are missing and kids are missing now. And even going back to One Direction and just seeing like the imagines on Tumblr and all of that. It has been just like such a treat and so fun and cool to watch everything that you guys have been doing. I know you all had your first performance at the back door. So I would love to hear a little bit more about how everything came up and how your first performance went and whatever you want to share.
Our performance was so much fun. The really funny thing is that all of us weren't really boy crazy when we were younger. Like we weren't obsessed with these boy bands like we weren't on Tumblr, right, making the imagines or throw my hair in a messy bun and I get sold to One Direction. Like, we weren't super into that, but I think that subconsciously, all of us being trans masc found like, oh, these guys are the blueprint of like hot guys, hot young guys that are marketed to the wider public. And so finding inspiration in that and realizing like, oh, we can be those guys now has been really, really fun. All of Us King of Drag aired, was it in the fall? It was sometime last year. And so King of Drag aired, and so that was the first all Drag King season of a Drag Race-esque type reality TV show. And one of the challenges on that was a boy band challenge. And so we watched that episode, and afterwards we all texted each other and we were like, we can do this better.
Absolutely. Which I feel like even like a couple of you probably did like joint performances at some point or like helped each other in some way. So it definitely gave that vibe. So I absolutely love that you all are pursuing this new project. And it's so unique in a way and so fresh for the indie scene. And it just goes to show how many creative people we have in the scene. Like, we are so lucky to have all of you as a part of our community. You all won your first open stage.
We did, in fact, win.
That is so sickening. And there's more performances that I'm sure will come our way.
Yeah, we're going to perform at Indy's Got Talent on this Tuesday as well. So we had 2 numbers ready for backdoor open stage. And we have a PG number that we are working on right now, so we can perform it at different events that, we can't swear at or whatever.
One thing that really gagged me was how it was like actually your guys' vocals and like a song and like adding like the comedy and the personality of everybody into it. I really loved all of that.
It's been really nice because I feel like with the boy band, we're kind of being tongue in cheek about it, where we're like making fun of this like over hyper masculinized boy band, and so we get to have fun with it, but then also feel hot at the end of the day. I will never stop hyping up Sender Allegations. He is the one who is the mastermind behind all of our music. He's just so talented and creative. I feel like any avenue that he pursues is incredible. So he's the one who's pretty much written most of the songs. It's been collaborative here and there, but he's the music guy. And so he's helped us record everything and mix everything. So huge shout out to Sender Allegations, my twin, for real.
Amazing. I have been loving getting to see all of it. Thank you so much for sharing these parts about yourself and all of the projects that you have been involved in. We're going to take a little break and we'll be right back with our next segment. The cast of Indy Drag Theatre's Night School musical has been revealed. We wanted to shout out the entire cast that includes some of our to be seen guests. We are so excited to see April Rose as Sharpay Evans, Taryn as Zeke Baylor, and Rodick as Jason Cross. Night School Musical is coming to the Phoenix Theater from August 21st to the 30th. Tickets available now. Welcome back to Be Seen Season 2. This time around, we have our incredibly talented guest, Rodick. Welcome back again.
Hey, thanks.
We are introducing a brand new segment this season called The Voicemail, and the phone has been ringing this entire time, so I think it's time for you to pick it up. I think it's for you.
Hey, Roger. It's me, Natalini. I hope you're having so much fun being on the pod. Please don't say anything too stupid. This is your moment. Don't embarrass me. No, but seriously, I'm so proud of you. You are so fierce and such an incredible person and such a good friend and roommate. Hello. And I hope you do send Divina your post interaction survey. And Divina, please be very honest. Was Rodick being chill? Did Rodick say anything weird? Was Rodick acting weird? Did you have fun? Do you think you'll be friends after this? And don't hold back, Divina. Anyway, just wanted to say, hey, y'all are fierce. Hope you're having a blast. Love you both. Bye.
Wow. Thank you so much, Natalie.
Yes. For all of those of you that don't know, that was Indy's own Natalie Portman. And Natalie happens to be one of your roommates. And I wanted to ask a little bit about that. How has it been living with somebody that shares the same creative hobbies as yourself?
Yeah, Natalie and I moved in together with Kalinda last summer, and we're actually moving in a month, which has been very stressful. I mean, packing and moving is just a whole thing. But it's been so much fun living with Natalie. She's definitely one of my best friends, and I think that living together has brought us closer, obviously, but like in ways that I would have never thought. I'm an only child, and so living with two people who are my friends, it feels like I'm living with two of my siblings, and kind of developing those relationships has been really, really special. Yeah, Natalie's, she brought up this thing about post-interaction survey. Yeah. Okay, this is something that I feel like we've been talking about for the past few months. And I feel like I've heard other people like have this kind of anxiety of like, was I cool? Was I chill after we hung out? Here's my survey. Can you answer all these questions of like, will we be friends afterwards? And so like, I'm able to just go to her and be like, do you think I was weird or whatever? And she's so sweet and just will reassure me like, no, it's like people like you, and you are an enjoyable person to be around. And she just helps me get through a lot of that like self-doubt. And so yeah, she's a wonderful person.
That is beautiful. And now it makes sense now, you telling me the story and why Natalie said what she said. And to answer your question, Natalie, I think we will continue to be friends. And if anything, I feel like our bond will continue to grow stronger.
For sure.
I know that you also live with Kalinda, as you said, and Kalinda is your drag mom. I think chosen family in many ways for queer people is very important. So I wanted to ask, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, Kalinda's my drag mom. She adopted me during Shrek, which was 2 Novembers ago. So it's been, what, like a year and a half? 2 years? I can't do math. But I feel like Kalinda adopted me, and then I gained just a whole drag family. We have our House of Diva, who I appreciate them so much. In the same way that Natalie like helps ease a lot of that self-doubt, they hype me up so much. I don't think I had ever been with a group of people or like surrounded by friends who have given me the space to just like work on my creative outlets and without judgment, without like you're doing too much, or I don't know if I have ADHD like exactly, but I definitely have tendencies. So like I'll get really, really into one project and dive full force into it. And I've always been encouraged by all of them to just put my energy towards it. And obviously they'll be there if I'm doing too much, to be like, take care of yourself and get some sleep. You don't have to stay up until 3 a.m. working, keep stoning this. Like, you can go to bed and then work on it in the morning. But the passion and the energy has always been supported. And so, especially living in a house with 2 other drag folks, it's not just a house of 3, it's a house of 6. There's all of our individual, regular, real life people, and then our whole wardrobes for all of our drag personas. So that is definitely something that has uplifted all of that creative energy in the house. It's just like we're constantly surrounded by collaboration. We have people come over. Natalie and Madison Avenue are directing Night School Musical through IDT, Indy Drag Theatre. And so they've been having meetings at our house, and like all of that creative energy, I feel like is just like embedded into the fabric of our entire space. And so that's really special.
It does make me really happy to hear that you have that support system on a personal level, and living in the same house with, and also having the same people be able to support you on all of your creative pursuits. So I absolutely love that, and I love both Kalinda and Natalie. So you definitely have two incredible people in your corner, which I love. Another thing that I wanted to touch base on, and I think it's going to be the perfect way to introduce it now, is the Indie Drag Theatre. All three of you have been heavily involved on Indie Drag Theatre. Shrek was the first ever IDT production that Nick and I got to see.
Nice.
And we got to see all three of you, and it was so good.
That was the production where we all met. We had never known each other before that. We had kind of interacted. Kalinda used to host the Monsters Inc. open stage, so I had met her through that. But Shrek was really. I like to. I don't know if this is like bad to say, but I feel like doing a theater production is kind of like trauma bonding. Because especially during Tech Week and the show weeks, you're just spending all of your time with the same people, and you learn how to work through problems, right? During Tech Week, so many problems come up, and so you learn how people react to really stressful situations and find solutions to any problems that arise. And so it's just like a pressure cooker to get people really, really close. And so it was nice to get to know them a lot during Shrek. And then all of us did Legally Blonde as well. And so that we got super close through that as well. And Indie Drag Theatre has really kept me motivated to keep doing drag. Because like I was saying earlier, those group projects are just what's so special about it to me. So.
And I feel like I haven't had the opportunity to do an Indie Drag Theatre production yet, but I can already tell by like seeing it and also hearing from other entertainers that it has to be such a huge learning experience, and so beautiful to get so many new skills and things throughout every single production that you all get to put on. What does this space mean to you?
I mean, Indie Drag Theatre is definitely my home for drag in Indianapolis. I still do solo performances and do open stages, but that's where my family is, and that's where my core, community of drag is in Indianapolis. And I think that it really is just because of the theater kid at heart. I feel like there are so many roles that when I was younger, I didn't even have the thought that I could go for them. And so getting the opportunity to, number one, play a boy role, but also just play roles that are really, really over the top and silly, and like diving into that and being super encouraged to do extra, especially because it is drag theater. It's not just a regular performance. So everything is extra. And the act of doing your makeup every single day for 2 weeks, I feel like that consistency has helped me get really, really good at my makeup, and rehearsing the dances. I like to dance and I like to move, but I definitely need some guidance. And so that has really provided a great space for me to just work on that and improve on that. And all the people in it have always uplifted me and encouraged me to just keep pushing. So it's a really special place to me.
Thank you so much for sharing all of that. We're going to take another little break and we'll be right back. Thank you for watching To Be Seen. Here's some shows and events that we wanted to highlight on today's episode. First up, a fundraiser dance night to benefit Venezuela and those affected by the earthquakes. This is happening Thursday, July 9th at the Back Door. Next, on Friday, July 10th, Culture Urban Winery presents an evening of drag, hosted by Venus and featuring Celeste All Dreams, Scotty Too Hottie, and Aura Aurora. And on Saturday, July 11th, Power is back at the Back Door, hosted by Desiree Bouvier, featuring M. Fatale, Brandley Bish, Danny T. Rex, Ivana F. Me, and Peacock the Phoenix.
She cracks me up.
Post-interaction survey.
Please. No, she's.
I like that idea. That is so like.
Like, can you scan this QR code and answer my survey?
Love.
But make it all around this though.
We can do
Be like
that.
somebody in the meetings.
No, you have to write your name.
Find a way to get a QR code to make a survey. And you can do that.
Yeah. TBS.
Yeah.
Very, very
I was like CBS but trans.
trans broadcasting service.
Okay. Welcome back to be seen. Once again, we have in the studio today Rodick. Welcome back.
Hey.
For our last segment, I wanted to dig deeper a little bit more into your story and who you are as a person and entertainer. Something that really stands out to me about your story is how connected both your art and your identity are. That goes from your involvement in theater, drag, political organizing, to even your own identity as a person outside of drag. And that all feels very deeply tied to becoming yourself and the person that you are today. And I think that for a lot of queer people, art can become a safe space and a way to discover ourselves and who we are as a person outside of the character. You mentioned to me on our pre-interview conversations that art is an integral part of your sense of self. So what does doing drag and creating and performing gives to you emotionally and as a person?
Yeah, I feel like I have kind of tried to combine my two lives together. I feel like from my 5 to 9, I'm an artist and a creative, and I like to have fun with my friends and play with makeup and dance. And then for my 9 to 5, I work a desk job. I'm an engineer, and so that is very kind of textbook and structured. And so I've been trying to figure out how I can combine these two aspects of myself together. And starting drag pretty much around the same time that I started transitioning is a very wild choice in the first place. But I mean, because when you're first start transitioning, you feel awkward and uncomfortable in your body. I have so many memories of me just like walking in the hallways at work being like, this is my man walk. This is how I walk like a guy. And the conscious thought of that all the time is kind of, it'll get to you if it's consistent. And kind of drag has helped me get more comfortable with being perceived. Initially, it was really nice to do mask makeup and feel like I look very mask. And then also the embodiment aspect of it is just performing and, figuring out my man walk and that kind of thing. But it was really nerve-wracking as well because it's been documented, right? I have all these pictures of me throughout the most awkward stages of my transition. But I look on them fondly. I'm not looking back and cringing because I'm where I am now because of the work that person did. And so that's really special to me. And so I'm really grateful that I have so much documentation and I have been perceived so much through doing drag that I'm not regretful of documenting all that awkwardness.
I wanted to ask if you think that drag has helped in any way better help understand yourself throughout your transition.
Yeah, I definitely I think that more than the actual identity of it, because me dressing up like a drag king, that makes sense. But I think that more than that, the community and the way that I've learned to interact with people has what I've grown in the most. Just being more assertive. I think that something that I've been thinking about a lot is I feel like being raised a woman, I've been conditioned to kind of diminish myself and make myself feel small to accommodate the rest of the people in the room. And so doing drag and having to really assert myself and claim my place has helped me just have that confidence to know that like I do belong here and I need to keep, being present and being seen. Hey,
To be seen.
in the world. I think that it's been very interesting navigating the drag scene as a king, because it is pretty much dominated by drag queens, especially here in Indianapolis, where we're kind of a smaller city, so we don't have as many resources or as many folks to just populate that demographic. And it's been a similar journey that I've been navigating at work as well. You know, I may be a man now, but I'll always be a woman in STEM. And so navigating, going through work as a woman and then transitioning and learning how to navigate work as a trans man has been a similar experience to navigating the drag world as a king. It's different dynamics, especially because what we're doing as drag is inherently counterculture, or inherently like political, and what we're doing is not what they want us to be doing.
Yeah.
So while we're dressing up as creatures or as people or as identities or as like entities that like the world kind of wants to shy away, I think it's hard to point out inequalities. Because what we're doing is already
Challenging so
challenging
many
the norms. So if I'm going to say all these cis white gays who do drag have a monopoly over it or are controlling the space, it kind of feels like, well, you're pointing something out, but we're still doing work to advance queer liberation.
But I do think it's still like important to acknowledge those things too, because even though that, yes, we are in many ways challenging many things, there's still space for so many of those traits from the world that oppresses us that kind of like seep into our community. So I think it is still like important to be able to talk about those things. So never feel afraid to stand your ground and call out any behavior or things that might happen to you. I feel like you're answering like all of the questions that I'm about to ask, which I like love. I think, and by being able to experience different drag scenes throughout like the US, I do think that in Indy we definitely have learned to embrace kings more, and I love how many kings do we have in our scene. But I do completely understand that it can still be very hard to navigate the scene as a male presenting performer. Would you tell us a little bit more about that? Like, what has been some of the challenges and things that you have experienced?
Yeah, I think that there's all kind of the obvious ones of just like shows with no kings in them, or kings not getting the same amount of applause or appreciation. And some of that is like we just have less kings. So there's less types of performance that folks can relate to. A few months ago, I went to Chicago because my family's from there, and I went to a drag king open stage. A drag king open stage. It wasn't just an open stage. It was like an all kings open stage, which was so cool. And so I talked to the host, and he was like, yeah, I mean, if you build it, they will come. Like, open up that space and really just encourage all the new faces that you see. And so that was really cool, meeting him and meeting all of the rest of the kings who were at that show, and kind of talking about how they navigate it in a bigger city, and how maybe we can bring some of those tactics, you know, here to Indy to get the kings really built up. And that's what's been really nice about the boy band too. And what I feel like is kind of a different culture when it comes to kings. I feel like it's a lot more collaborative and a lot more uplifting, because we're like, we have to make sure all of our brothers are getting booked. We have to make sure that all of us have these opportunities. So it's little less of like a grab for, you know, the one single spot, because we know that, you know, we're not going to get there if we don't uplift each other.
I think those are like really, really incredible things to not only give platforms to uplift kings, but also give the opportunity to show maybe those aspiring kings that might be following all of you, to know that they can also become one, and they also have the space here in our community and in the drag scene as a whole.
One of us.
Yes.
One of us.
You also mentioned political organizing, which it's so important right now in the climate that we are living on, because our community is being directly targeted by the current administration. And that is something that I really appreciate about your work, that there's always some intent behind it and there's always ways to advocate. I know that you have a brand new show that you're co-hosting with Natalie that's called Resist. So I would love to hear your thoughts on political organizing in your brand new show.
Yeah. Natalie and I hosted our first Resist. I think it was last Saturday. It might have been the one before. It was last Saturday. And it was at this venue. Okay, number one, the venue was really, really cute. It was kind of grungy, but I was into that because was kind of the vibe of it. And we had a drag show where all of the numbers were political. And so we had a lot of folks doing kind of satire, and then also different numbers that were pretty just straight up like, this is bad, listen to us. But alongside that, we had a community market. So we had a bunch of local artists there who were selling their stuff. And then we also had a lot of political organizations who were tabling. So we had Indiana Aid, which is Indiana Assistance for Immigrants in Detention. We had the Indianapolis Liberation Center, which is kind of a central hub for a lot of different political organizations in the city. And through the Liberation Center, two of the orgs that are connected with them is Community Food Box Project. So what they do is they take those old newspaper boxes and they turn them into community pantries. So they have folks who go stock them with cans and non-perishables. So folks who are just kind of walking around and need food can grab them. And then the Indiana Department of Corrections Watch was also there. And so they keep an eye on, the Indiana Department of Corrections and make sure that they're following the rules as much as they can, control them to do that. And it was really, really fantastic to have all those groups there. I think that something that I feel I have the capacity to do and like the power to do right now is be a connector for people. Drag keeps me pretty busy, and so I used to volunteer a lot with the Liberation Center. A group of friends and I, we used to do Repair Cafe. So it was like we had folks who knew how to fix things. They would all come in and sit, and then people who had broken stuff would just come bring their broken stuff in to get fixed. We were all really passionate about environmentalism and just making sure that we're using the things that we have instead of buying new things. And since I've gotten more involved with drag, I haven't had as much time to work on that. And so I feel like in my capacity now and in kind of the life that I have developed and built over this past few years, I'm able to connect people. And so if we can host a drag show, we got a lot of walk-ins too. I think probably half the tickets were tickets that we had sold to friends or people who heard about it. And then the other half of tickets were folks just walking in. And that made me so happy that it was people who didn't really know what they were getting into, but then kind of got to engage in this conversation with us, and then also check out these organizing groups, and just bring people to the actual work that needs to be done through fun performances, or maybe not even fun, just moving performances. I think that art is one of the biggest ways that we can enact change. Yeah. Like it really drives something home, like in your soul, that will motivate you to act on something, rather than just kind of like getting lectured about, okay, things are bad. Art feels so powerful to do that work for us.
I want to thank you and give you your flowers for, again, hosting events like this and always having your purpose very present within everything that you do. I think it is so important right now, and I think it is an incredible platform for you to be able to get people more involved. I think it makes it easier for others sometimes to go out, and yes, it's a drag show, as you said, it's fun, but at the same time, we are getting to address and give support to our own community and other communities that have been affected so much throughout this administration. So thank you so much. We are reaching the end of our episode. Oh, I know. It has been such a great time, and I have loved getting to know you a little bit better and talk about all the things that you have been involved with. I wanted to give you the opportunity. This is kind of our to be seen closer. And it's, I'll just have you look at the camera over there in front of you and look at your audience in the eyes and just leave us with whatever message or whatever you might want to tell them right now.
Okay. Well, audience, I want you to keep doing the things that you're passionate about and fight for a future that you feel like you can thrive in. And for us, for me, that's drag. And the friendships that I make through this community. And for you, that might be something different. I just want you to grab hold of it really, really tightly and don't let it go and keep fighting.
Thank you so much for being here, Rodick. Again, it has been a pleasure getting to talk to you today. Thank you to our audience for making it to this point. We are so grateful to have you and so grateful that you let us tell these stories that are so important. Make sure that you comment, like, subscribe, and do all of those things, and also share our platform so we can keep doing this and keep having even more entertainers and sharing queer stories that need to be told and documented. We love you so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Not my voice crack. Not my voice crack at the end. That was so fun.
How was it?
It was good.